coverage begins today at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by AutoZone.
The NBA is back on ESPN. The Warriors are NBA champions. The champs are back and on notice because the Rockets have relaunched.
Harden pulls up. Bang!
There's a thunderous trio in OKC.
Coast to coast. What a move from Westbrook.
And the king is out for revenge.
Wade to James.
The NBA is back and better than ever. Tip-off week begins tomorrow on ESPN. Presented by State Farm.
The Golden State Warriors begin the defense of their title on opening night.
The Golden State Warriors are the 2017 NBA champions.
They'll face James Harden, Chris Paul, and the reloaded Rockets.
Harden three, buries it, and the Rockets have the lead.
Could they be the biggest threat to the Warriors in the West? It all begins tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Who's in for a Big Ten battle with big implications? For Go Blue weathering Happy Valley in whiteout conditions. For Harbaugh's defensive front against Franklin's offensive force. And Heisman frontrunner Saquon Barkley. Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart. Number 19 Michigan versus the undefeated second in the nation Penn State. Saturday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. And streaming live on the ESPN app. Who's in?
Sitting with one loss, Michigan can't afford another loss. What do they need to do to slow down Saquon Barkley and Penn State? We'll ask Kirk Herbstreit when he joins Mike and Mike Wednesday morning at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Hi, I'm Paul Feinbaum. Coming up with the program, we'll be joined by Jalen Hurts, the star quarterback from Alabama.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, Tuesday at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Southeast Missouri's home for the St. Louis Blues.
ESPN 1220.
We came to play.
KGIR, K Toronto.
This is the local sports center update from Southeast Missouri's ESPN Radio Network.
I'm Eric Sean. This sports center update is brought to you by Bertrand Law Firm. Visit TreyBertrand.com. Things have tightened up in the American League Championship Series. The Yankees rolled past the Houston Astros Monday night 8-1 as that best-of-7 series shifted to the Bronx. That cuts Houston's lead to 2-1. The Yanks blasted a pair of 3-run homers, one from Aaron Judge and one from Todd Frazier. On the mound, veteran CC Sabathia threw 6 scoreless innings. Game 4 is this afternoon at 4:08. You can hear it on SEMO ESPN 92.9 FM. The National League Championship Series moves to Wrigley Field in Chicago tonight for Game 3. The Dodgers lead the Cubs 2-0. Chicago will send Kyle Hendricks to the mound against Yu Darvish at 8 o'clock. We'll broadcast on ESPN 92.9. The St. Louis Blues have played 5 of their first 6 games on the road, and they get back home on Scott Trade Center ice tomorrow night against arch rival Chicago. Forward Alexander Steen, who has been out since September 19th with a broken hand, has returned to practice. He'll be activated soon.
Get Sports Center updates every hour on Southeast Missouri's ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM.
There's nothing better than award-winning jumbo wings and an ice-cold schooner while you watch great sports programming on huge flat screens at Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. If you love wings and a whole menu of great food and drink options, come to Wings Etc. for lunch, dinner, late-night drinks and snacking, and lots of HDTV sports. And now, when you can't eat, drink, and watch the game here, order online for pickup at togo.wingsetc.com. It's fast, easy, and convenient. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub, good food, great times, and online ordering at togo.wingsetc.com.
Get into the game with flowers from Arrangements by Joyce. You'll garner all the MVP honors when you send the Forever Fall bouquet of beautiful orange Gerberas, roses, and pumps. They'll love the brilliant autumn colors, and you'll get endless cheers. Hi, I'm Joyce from Arrangements by Joyce. My service and product are proven winners. The next time you need flowers, call 335-3238 or stop in at 100 South Sprigg Street to see my complete lineup of beautiful flowers.
And now, Your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
Well, after starting off the day in the frosty 30s, we're going to get up close to 70 here today as we'll look at sunshine in the forecast. Clear, chilly again tonight, low near 40. Sunny tomorrow with a high 75, and sunshine will take us into Thursday, a high near 80. Friday, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. Richard DeWettig at the Weather Channel.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network. This is your local home for Mike and Mike, the Sports Huddle, and all your favorite teams. Get it all right here.
This makes my day go great.
On the SEMO ESPN Sports Network. This is a proud presentation of Mississippi River Radio Sports, the sports authority.
And now, at last,
it's time for the Red Hawks Coaches Show on the SEMO ESPN Radio Sports Network.
I have more to tell you.
The Southeast Coaches Show airs every Tuesday at noon on ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM. Live from Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson. This is your chance to delve deep into the Red Hawks football season with head coach Tom Matukowicz.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
let's go live to Wings Etc. Right here on SEMO ESPN.
Welcome into another edition of the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc. We are in the Cape Girardeau location as Southeast Missouri State is riding a 2-game winning streak, and they will hit the road for the next 2 weeks. They will play an odd start time, 4 o'clock game on Saturday in Clarksville, Tennessee against Austin Peay. And then next week, the Red Hawks will travel to the nationally ranked Jacksonville State. Want to invite you to join us here at Wings Etc. And don't forget about their award-winning jumbo wings. If you want to eat with us, you're invited. If not, call ahead. They'll have it ready for you. You can carry it out. Their menu includes a heck of a lot more than just wings. If you've never been to Wings Etc., they have freshly made burgers. They have wrapped subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoked ribs. And their appetizer lineup includes their ultimate nachos, their deep-fried pickle spears, and if you want to join us for lunch, their daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $6.49. It is Wings Etc. Good food, great times. The Red Hawks head coach, Tom Matukowicz, is here. We will hear from Red Hawks quarterback, Jesse Hoskett. He's going to make an appearance. Jesse coming off a really good performance Saturday in the homecoming win over Tennessee Tech. 3 touchdown passes for Jesse. Coach Tuke is here, and boy, you win this game. Final score 31-3 over Tennessee Tech. What were your initial impressions after you finished out the victory, and what was the message to the team in the locker room after this one?
Just the 2 things that just came to mind right after the game. Number one is I loved how we started and finished. You know, when you start the game that well, 17-0, you know, it just tells you a lot about your preparation, about your motivation, and coming off the bye, I wasn't sure. You know, you don't know. We were playing well, and then all of a sudden had a bye, so I wasn't sure how that was going to look. And then to finish the fourth quarter, even though you got a 3 and a 4 score lead, sometimes teams let up, and I did think we had a little bit of a letdown in third quarter, but we finished the game out. And then number 2 was just a turnover margin. So for the second time or second game in a row, we dominated that, and that's why the score was the way it was. And so those are the 2 things that really stuck out. You know, at first when I got done with the game, I was disappointed about penalties. When I went back, there was only truly one really stupid penalty. And so we are getting better. You know, several of those are just, they are what they are.
Well, it's interesting because before the Eastern Kentucky game, you really hammered in. You always talk about turnovers. That's something you talk about a lot, but you really emphasized it, at least publicly, about, okay, this is unacceptable. We're losing the turnover battle. Yep. We've got to do this, and we've got to get out of the gate quicker. We can't be playing from behind. It's great to do great in the fourth quarter, and you have been doing well in the fourth quarter, but you got to get out of the gate quicker. You got to cut down on the penalties. Well, you jump out to early leads in each of the last 2 games, and in each of the last 2 games, no turnovers. You are now in conference-only games #1 in the league in turnover margin. You are a +5 in your 3 conference games, leading the league.
Yeah, I think it comes down to defensively, we're doing a really good job in the secondary. we're doing a good job on defense getting teams to third and long, and we're able to affect the quarterback there with some pass rush. And like guys like Omar Pierre-Louis has just gotten so much better at ball skills and judging balls and all these things, and come away with some big-time turnovers. And then offensively, you saw Jesse manage the game well. He threw several balls away. One was in the end zone that he could have maybe threaded it, or it could have been a pick. And then on third down, he threw a touchdown. And so those are the things that we continue to just harp on. That's why we were losing in the first half of the year, and why we're won our last two. So the whole key here is learn from it and repeat it.
I think in your first two games, you had a total of 8, your first two conference games, you had a total of 8 third down conversions, 8 total. You had 7 in this game, including your first 2 touchdowns were third down passes into the end zone conversions.
Yep, that was a big emphasis on offense, was our third and mediums, because that's where we really struggled. Our third and short and fourth and short's fabulous.
But I haven't seen anybody stop Hoskett on a quarterback sneak yet.
And so, it's really about third and mediums, and both those touchdowns were in those situations. So that was a great job by him, great scheme, great execution by the players, and something we got to continue to improve, because it's still not quite good enough.
So what is it like? You come into the Tennessee Tech game, you have this game plan, you're ready to go, and then you find out just before the game, okay, backup quarterback, we don't have a lot of film on this guy. What was your first thought? And it was pretty clear for a guy starting his first collegiate game that you gave him a lot of heat early, and it bugged him.
Well, I mean, schematically, you don't know those things, so there's really nothing you could do. It's just the fact that you may choose to pressure him on third downs or passing situations instead of playing coverage, and did a great job turning him over right away, which definitely affects him. I thought he did a good job, though, for a young kid, and all of a sudden being thrust into a Division I football game. I was impressed with him.
Yeah, I didn't see him have deer in the headlights type look. Their guy who you were concerned about, Dontez Bird, everybody knows that he's going to be the guy, and they went to him. He had a lot of targets, but you held him to just 4 receptions for 44 yards. Now, he had some third down catches, but he was not an impact factor in the game, which he has been for them.
Yeah, we knew you just can't take someone completely out of it, but we knew what everybody else knows, that they were going to target him. One third down was disappointing because we were going to double him. They motioned, and one of our safeties, blew it and didn't end up doubling him, and that was disappointing. But for the most part, we did our job. We limited him. No big plays with him also.
And any time that you can play a Division I football game and hold the opponent to under 200 yards of offense, defense has got to be walking away. First of all, you didn't give them up a touchdown, and secondly, they didn't even get 200 yards on you. So defensively, that's the second consecutive really strong performance.
Yep, they did a great job. Before, after every game, there's always something you really feel like you could do a better job of. Really, defensively, what we got to do is just repeat it. I mean, there really wasn't a lot there that you got to try and fix. I think what the difference is, we're playing fundamentally at a high level. Like, our DBs are playing fundamentally well. We had one holding penalty in the secondary. That wasn't that bad. And so, I think our coaches have done a good job of building skill there, and I think our players have really tried to get better. And so now we're tackling at a high level. We're playing extremely physical. We're playing the ball in the air much better than we started the season. And so now it's just, can we repeat it? Offensively, I still feel like we can get a lot better. And so we're still really just trying to make the gains on third down. We're, trying to attack these things that will make us better on offense. But defensively, got to stay healthy, and we got to continue what we've been doing.
In the football game, you forced them to fumble the ball 5 times. Now, you recovered 1, but still your defense was a part of that ball hitting the turf a lot in the football game. One more thing that may fly under the radar, you say, well, we recovered 1 fumble. Well, you forced 5 fumbles.
Right, exactly. I think that's the key. Sometimes you can't control recovering it, but you could control trying to strip it and those type of things. So great job by those guys, and it's all about a culture of attacking the football. And I've been a part of teams that done great and then not great. Last year, I think we only had 5 picks, period. That may not be right, but it's low. And then this year we're at 8. So, we're it's catching. Our players are believing it. Our team understands that is what is helping us win. So, there's just more intensity at trying to get the football out or to pick it.
In the Eastern Kentucky game, your defense set the tone in the first quarter with a goal line stand, forced them into a missed field goal. So they had an opportunity at 10 points. They came away with 0 points. Well, you force Tennessee Tech to punt early in the football game. You take over at midfield, so your first time touching the football. Tremendous field position, only took you 4 plays, and then Jesse Hoskett hits tight end Eric Williams, a name that not a lot of Red Hawk fans have probably heard a lot because he hadn't caught many passes, but it's his first career touchdown, and it was right after a play where you had thrown him about a 1-yard pass, out in the left flat. He caught the ball. Yep. Jesse went right back to him in the end zone on the next play.
Eric Williams is kind of like that Cam Sanders. We after the Eastern Illinois game, we just really looked at our I think you got to start with players. And he was a guy that we needed to get more out of because he could do things. And there were several third-down catches that Eric had. And so those are the things that he's playing a lot more. He's young, but doing a great job. And so I think you'll see him even more.
Eric Williams, 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown. Nico Letang hits the extra point. You're on your way, 7-0. Then on the ensuing possession for Tennessee Tech, boom, you force the fumble. You've got the ball at the 6-yard line, and you pound it in again. Jesse Hoskett to Trayvon Billington, and all of a sudden it's 14-0.
Yeah, that's exactly how you draw it up on homecoming, right? So appreciate that. It's just one of those things, you harp on starting strong, and, we did a good job with just understanding the kind of energy that we need to start the game with and the intensity level on the sideline and everything. And it was the same way versus EKU. So we got to repeat it because this next game will be even harder.
14-0. And at that point, Tennessee Tech knows the game is not over. They were up 14-0 the previous week against Eastern Illinois, and Eastern Illinois came back and beat them by a point. So your team doesn't think it's over either. Right before the end of the first quarter, you put together a 14-play, 47-yard drive. You don't get in the end zone, but Nico Letang comes on for the 22-yard field goal. I believe it was 4th and pretty short. Did you have any thoughts of maybe going for it on 4th down, or did you think let's go up 3 scores here and get the field
3
goal?
scores, and I think our defense is pretty good. Like, you don't want to mess it up,
Yep.
So that wasn't that long of a pause. If the ball's like on the 1 or 2, that's when you're like, hey, because even if you don't get it, they're backed up, they punt, we got good field position, But at that point, 3 scores was what we needed to do.
You feel pretty good that, hey, we got a great chance to win, even though it's the first quarter. We've got it, with the way our defense is playing, we got a good shot to win this game.
3-1. That's the whole key. Even if they score 1 or 3, we're probably going to get 1 in there, so we're going to win the football game.
So not a whole lot of action in the second quarter. They finally do get on the board with about 2 minutes to play before halftime. Nick Madonia kicks a 37-yard field goal. He's one of the better guys in the league, field goal kickers. He kicks a 37-yard field goal, so at least they get on the board. You go in at halftime. What's the message to your team? You're up 14 points.
Just the message was, we obviously started well, all right, and we need to start the second half well. There was a couple things that they were doing on defense. They were basically just sold out to the run, and they were blitzing everybody, and so that was causing some problems defensively. It was just about a couple plays on that field goal drive that they had that we had to get. It was a couple new plays that we hadn't worked on, and so we drew them up. But, You know, it was basically, hey, this is what we thought was going to happen. Now let's go win the second half.
And they tried to rely on their running backs, who had a lot of Division I experience last year. One of them, Yidi Thainrat, on the All-OVC newcomer team. So they have two interchangeable guys who've been pretty good. In fact, Goldsmith, who is their second stringer technically, just ran for 121 yards against Eastern Illinois, a team that's 4-0 in the OVC. So they tried to rely on that run game, and it just was not working because you were shutting the run down. Yeah,
and they, you know, their coach is really committed to the run game, kind of similar to the way we try to be. And so, you know, they stayed patient, even though we're playing the run well. They stayed patient and ended up having a solid day running the ball. But I was disappointed in our third quarter. You know, it felt like the game was starting to slip. You know, 3-score lead, I mean, that doesn't mean much. So, you know, I had a couple of words of encouragement on the sideline for my offense, and that, you know, we kind of got going there a little bit.
So you open the fourth quarter. You're still up 17-3. You open the fourth quarter, capping a drive that started in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, 8 plays, 71 yards. And Jesse Hoskett hooks up with Christian Wilkerson. He had hit him on a 41-yard pass on the opening drive of the game, because one of the things you highlighted on this show, one of the things you highlighted in your pregame interview Saturday, they are susceptible to the big play. We're going to try to throw the ball deep downfield on these guys, take a couple of shots. Well, you hit your first shot to set up the first touchdown. Now you hit a 47-yarder to Wilkerson, who last year as a freshman led the OVC in yards per reception, and he had another big game.
Yeah, great job high pointing the ball and getting it in there, and that was the plan. We knew that they were going to, the way they play and the pressure that some plays weren't going to work. But because of that, they're going to give up some, and we got to take advantage of that.
47 yards for Jesse Hoskett. Boy, you know, isn't it good to know that you've got a guy? And just sometimes you might say, hey, we want to take our shots downfield. Do you have an athlete who's going to be able to be on the business end of that shot downfield and make a play? I mean, don't you feel good about the fact that Christian Wilkerson is establishing himself as a guy, if you want to throw it downfield, you got a good shot of completing the pass?
Yeah, he's strong, he's big, he's got great ball skills, he can judge the ball. And, you know, we just got to put it up there to him, and generally he goes and gets it. So that's something we got to continue to do. You know, we got to get our big plays 10 a game, you know, not just rely on the big run. Also, we got to get some big passes in there.
Well, speaking of the big run, you got one in the Eastern Kentucky game from Cam Sanders. You handed him the football. He went 77 yards to pay dirt. Well, he got another one on Saturday. You hand him the football. He goes 70 yards to the end zone. Now, this guy's turning in. We know he's a big play threat returning kicks. Suddenly, defenses have to say, man, this guy's a big play guy in the backfield.
Yeah, you know, like we said, how can we get him to add value on offense? Because he's a little unique and he's still building skill at running back. But I'm telling you, he's gotten a lot better, just super glad that we're using him. I don't know if you noticed, we threw a screen pass out to him, and it wasn't like it went for 50, but it looked really good. You know, he caught it, he put his head down and piped it, and you get 8 yards. Well, that's a big deal. Because sometimes those corners aren't that big, you know, and you're able to all of a sudden, you know, break that tackle and then no one's going to catch him. So it's just trying to get him the ball in some space. We're still developing his hands, you know, and so it's just a process. But glad that he's working, glad that we're able to give him an opportunity. He's made a name for himself.
And for those who don't know, I mean, he's listed now. I don't know if he steps on the scale, if he's 212 pounds, if it's pretty close to that, but he's listed at 212. So there's a guy that can break arm tackles. If he can get into a defensive secondary, there aren't a lot of guys that are going to chase him down.
Yeah, he's 215 as of Monday, so he's a big kid. You know, breaks the arm tackles. That's why I love returners that are big. People don't understand in the return game, a lot of times you get tackled by arms. You know, in offense and defense, you tackle with shoulders. You know, and so if you can break an arm tackle, you're a good returner.
After the game on Monday, yesterday, it was announced, or maybe it was late Sunday, that the OVC Specialist of the Week was Jake Reynolds, your freshman punter. And punting was a concern early on in the season. You struggled in that respect. And you hadn't been used to doing that because, Alex Knight was an All-American punter, and he was here for several years. And all of a sudden, the punting game has gone to another level. Jake Reynolds, the 4th longest punt in school history. He booted a 78-yard punt and was named the OVC Specialist of the Week. Everything was high. Everything gave your punt coverage team an opportunity to go down and make a play. He's getting better, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. I think that's the theme of this team. Like, this team has the character and maturity level to get better. And, if he the way he started this season was rough. He's a freshman. He's really inconsistent. We would see some of those big ones we saw Saturday, but we'd see these other ones too. And we just kept coaching him. He kept practicing, working on his skill, and every week he's just gotten a little bit better. And so we need him to continue to work to get better, just like the rest of our team. But proud of him.
3 for 3 red zone chances. That has to make you pleased because your defense is doing such a good job in the red zone. You want your offense to do well in the red zone. Right now it is.
Yeah, and that's the whole key. It's hard to be good in the red zone if you can't run it. And so we've been able to run the football pretty decent. When Quez gets down there in the red zone, he's just hard to stop. And then we're able to throw it in there on several key third downs too. So generally you'll win games if your turnovers, third down, and red zone is pretty good.
All right, you had not put on film that Marquez Terry would pass out of the Wildcat. No one saw that on film. It looked like the first time that you ran Wildcat, it looked like he wanted to throw and then didn't, but everyone froze when they could tell he was going to throw the football. And then he ran and got a nice gain.
Yeah.
And then you end up throwing with him. He throws it downfield. You get a first down. It gets called back by a penalty, but all of a sudden you have added a wrinkle to that little package that you put in with the Wildcat. Now defenses have to consider that.
Yeah, that's been a great package for us. We're continuing to develop it. It's an RPO. It's a run-pass option, so he can run it or throw it.
He's probably been itching to throw it.
Yeah, well, who doesn't want to throw it, right? But we've been developing that skill too. So he's itty bitty. I think Georgia could block his pass, and so we got to continue to work on him with that. But we're going to continue to really try to, where people can't just hone in on him and schematically put some wrinkles in there.
How are you liking your kickoffs? Because if you're kicking the ball off and the other team's catching it around the 13-yard line every time, then you're thinking, man, field position is going to flip here just a little bit. It looks like kickoffs are getting a little better every week.
Yeah, it's kind of like our team. We started, and the thing that was making me angry was kicking out of bounds. I mean, you start on a 35. I mean, that's terrible. And so, but we found a guy that was a soccer guy. First time he ever kicked a football was in July. He was a transfer. He's from St. Louis, but he went to Bowling Green and was a soccer athlete. And then wanted to kick. He's a senior, so he's exhausting his eligibility.
Nick Johnson is his name.
Yeah, and so we gave him that opportunity. He's had a big leg, but he's been inconsistent. And so here lately, he's really dialed in. He had 2 touchbacks, and it was kind of a windy game. And, proud of his progress.
So he's a soccer guy, but he's a big guy, man.
Yeah.
6'3", 195. I mean, that's a big kicker.
Yeah. I mean, his 6'3", 195 doesn't look like a good 6'3", 195. He still looks like he should be playing basketball or something. It didn't look like a football player should look, but so I don't want to give him too much credit.
I got
now
you.
The guy be coming in my office wanting to raise.
All right, so all of a sudden, the special teams, which had been such a strength for your program since you got here at Southeast, it has really been a plus. especially in the punting and the kicking game. You've had an All-American kicker. You've had an All-American punter. You've got an All-American return man. So special teams has been such a strength, but you were so down in the dumps early in the season about the special teams. It looks like a different program.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about just, when you pride yourself in something and it does, I mean, it hurts at a deeper level, and you're just like, I mean, you can't even watch it. It makes your eyes bleed, but it's just like life. I mean, it is what it is, and you just work to get it better. And the thing I challenged our team was we got to try to win a game on special teams now. We've gotten to where we're a little better, so our field position is a little better, which is important. But now, can we make that play? Can we score on a return? Can we block a kick? Can we, do something that's going to win a game? Because, Austin Peay's pretty good. Jacksonville State's pretty good. Tennessee State's pretty good. So we're gonna need our special teams to make a big play for us this year.
And those are all games that you're going to have to play on the road.
Yep.
That's a tough road slate. Normally you say Austin Peay, you think, well, hey, we just don't make any big blunders. We're going to win that game, no problem. That's not the case anymore now, man. I mean, Austin Peay is absolutely for real.
Yeah, they're national news. Getting a lot of publicity because they broke the streak and now they're winning, and they're a good football team. And I've never liked Austin Peay. I probably shouldn't say this but I'm just kind of angry, and I'm like, this is personal, and I want to frickin' get it on. Like that, I'm jealous of their $17 million stadium. I'm mad at some of the stuff that they have, and I lost 2 recruits to them last year, and I want to play this game today. So how's that for not coaching
There we go.
speak?
And by the way, for those who do not know,
I'm sure they're going to play this in their team meeting tonight, but I'm ready.
Coach Tuke is undefeated 3-0 against Austin Peay. In fact, the Redhawks have 7 straight wins over the Governors. But let's see, is Jesse in the house?
There he is.
There he is. He just walked in. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll talk more about Austin Peay, their big $17 million stadium renovation, and why are the Governors sitting at 3-1 in the Ohio Valley Conference when they came into the season not having won a game in over 2 football seasons. Talk much more about the Governors, but we'll hear from the Redhawks quarterback. He is here, Jesse Hoskett, coming off a 3-touchdown performance against Tennessee Tech. He'll join us when we come back to Wings, Etc. in Cape. It's the Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
We love sports, so much that we packed our walls with tons of big flat screens tuned to the very best sports programming. At Wings Etc., we love big, cooked to tender, crisp perfection wings. And so do our fans, who have voted our wings best in more and more cities across the Midwest. At Wings Etc., we love beer. We love it so much that we have over 40 different kinds of beers in bottles and on tap, including your favorite regional craft beers. Wings Etc., it's not complicated, and we like it that way. Come see us today.
All right, so what do you see when you watch this?
This is Cody Sandusky, the voice of Cape Central Tigers football, and a new season has arrived. 2016 saw the Tigers win their 4th consecutive Class 4 District 1 championship. Second-year head coach Harlan Pixley and his players look to repeat the feat and advance further in 2017. Join me for every snap, tackle, and touchdown of the Cape Central football season on SEMO ESPN 1220, SEMOESPN.com, and the SEMO ESPN radio app.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
Well, after starting off the day in the frosty 30s, we're going to get up close to 70 here today as we'll look at sunshine in the forecast. Clear, chilly again tonight, low near 40. Sunny tomorrow with a high 75, and sunshine will take us into Thursday, a high near 80. Friday, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. Richard DeWettig, the Weather Channel.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network.
This is Mike Greenberg for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
On Tuesdays at 12 noon, we are at Wings Etc. for the Redhawks Coaches Show. We're in the Cape Girardeau location, and I believe we will be back in the Jackson location next week. So we hope you'll join us there. We'll be in Jackson, and that will be Jacksonville State Week. The Redhawks will be traveling to Jacksonville, Alabama next week. But this week, it is Austin Peay. And we want to remind you that if you're stopping by for lunch at Wings, etc., they have their daily half-pound lunch specials. They start at just $6.49. Their food and drink specials are terrific all throughout the week, including every Monday, 59-cent wings, and that is their award-winning jumbo wings. They have a terrific kids menu, so mom and dad, you can bring the kids. Grandma and grandpa, you can bring the kids. Family-friendly video games. And Wings, both locations, Cape and Jackson, open 7 days a week. They're open late on the weekends because the games oftentimes run late. You're going to be watching some American or the National League Championship Series tonight. Well, you can watch it right here at Wings in high definition. In fact, the ALCS, Yankees and the Houston Astros, 4:08 is first pitch. You want to watch that game, maybe the doubleheader here at Wings. Also, it's NBA opening night. If you're a basketball fan, you can watch NBA games in high definition right here at Wings, etc. Let's welcome in the Red Hawks quarterback, Jesse Hoskett, to the show. Did you just get out of class?
Yes, sir. Just made the run over when I got out.
All right. What class were you just in?
Building codes.
Building codes. Tell us a little bit about that one.
It's pretty boring and monotonous. It's just a lot of different codes telling you regulations on how you need to build different structures. And
building codes kind of change depending on what city you're in, right?
Yeah, I think they do varying on what region you're in, but there's a overall book that kind of applies nationwide to different structures.
When you were starting this, looking at some of the building codes, what were some of the things that kind of surprised you? Like, are you kidding me? Why is that like it is?
There's a lot of small things just going over a lot of fire hazards and a lot of regulations on that you would think that's very obvious, but obviously they got to be in there.
Fire code's really big. I'm guessing just the wiring of everything. That would be kind of tricky to. I know I helped wire a house that we built, and just all of the wiring techniques and things of that nature. That it seems like that's a pretty monotonous coding.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a complex thing, and you have to have all those things labeled. So after you get everything done, come back in, hook it up. You know what you're doing.
And so, what's your major now?
Construction management.
Okay, now see, if you're doing a class with building codes, so after your football career is over, what are you thinking about?
I'm really open to a lot of different things. I'm not sure. Obviously, got to get a full-time job somewhere, and hopefully move back to Mississippi with that.
All right. So, but construction, is that something you've got some background in?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of experience back home with some construction companies and just building a few houses. And this summer I was able to work with Sean Wren and Wren Homes in Jackson. Got some experience with him, so that was good.
Your new wife, she's going to be expecting you to build the home, right?
Oh, definitely.
That'll be fun. That would be the fun thing about that is kind of designing it yourself and you guys kind of collaborating on the design. I mean, if you're going to be the one who's going to construct it.
Oh, yeah, we got a pretty cool computer program that we've been using in the Polytech. Help you make these 3D layouts so you can see everything and see what it look like, kind of walk through the house before you even build it. It's pretty cool.
What else is cool about being a construction management major, right? Any other class that might be a little less boring than building codes?
I just really like the design classes, just getting on that the programs that they have. Laying buildings out. You can lay a kitchen out. You can lay everything out in there and kind of see what it's going to look like, fit everything in, piece it together. It's pretty fun.
So when you look at a schematic, say you're going to Lowe's and you're looking at a schematic for a kitchen or whatever, you see it differently than probably the average guy does, right?
No, I don't know about that. I mean, I see cabinets. I'm not crazy like women are about all the cabinets and stuff. But, yeah, you just have numbers and heights and everything. All of those things have to fit together well.
Jesse Hoskett, Red Hawks quarterback, is our guest here at Wings, etc. for the Red Hawks Coaches Show. You're coming off a really impressive performance. 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. But what I got to point out, you got sacked for the first time in a conference game. What happened?
Oh, yeah, I was trying to step up in the pocket. Guy got a good hold on me with one arm. I wasn't able to shake loose of him. So
that's got to be good, though. I mean, you in Jacksonville are leading the league in being sacked the fewest times. You've been sacked once. Jacksonville State's quarterback, they're the third-ranked team in the country, has been sacked once. What is the big key to avoiding the sacks as the Red Hawks and you have been able to do all season?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's definitely not because of my speed. So, but just knowing where to go with the football and where you can get rid of it. Obviously, I think we got a couple penalties there earlier in the year for some intentional grounding, which may have got me out of a couple of them. But just knowing where your throwaways are, where you can get rid of the football and not be penalized for it, keep you out of those sacks.
Take us through like a particular route and on an average pass play, how many options do you have, and do you always have a last option, a safety valve option? How does that work, or does it vary from play to play?
Yeah, it definitely varies from play to play. Some plays are shot plays where we're trying to push the ball downfield. There's not really not very many options. Either that guy's open or he's not, and then you got more intermediate stuff where you have more options. Kind of however the defense lines up, you'll know what side you'll be working.
How about the emergence in this last game of Eric Williams? You actually threw to him on back-to-back plays on that touchdown drive. You kind of swung it out to him in the flat. It was a short pass play that really didn't go anywhere. Then on third down, you hit him right in the back of the end zone. He caught 3 balls in the game, and it's really the first time we've talked much about Eric Williams. Talk about what you've seen out of him and how your trust level has kind of been growing with deciding whether or not you're going to throw him the football.
I mean, he's just a really big target. He got a lot of raw talent, has great hands. He understands what we're trying to do, and so he's a great target to throw the ball to.
Boy, the tight end has not been a big receiving target so far this season, but we're starting to see the tight end implemented a little bit more. How much more comfortable would that be for you if suddenly you've got tight ends as a legitimate option here in the passing game?
I think it's a big threat. We have a lot of downhill run game, and to be able to complement that with tight ends getting out and making plays definitely make our offense more explosive.
Boy, and you've got plays, tight ends that log a lot of snaps. I mean, Brody Wheeler, Logan Larson, Eric Williams, Bud Hilburn. I mean, you got guys that are out there. You've got 2 and sometimes 3 tight ends on the field in any given play.
Yeah, we like to use them a lot, getting those heavier sets and try to run the ball.
All right, talk about what you've seen from Cam Sanders now, man. That's back-to-back games, touchdowns of 70 or more yards, 77 against EKU, and then 70 against Tennessee Tech.
He's just a really explosive player, He gets another gear a lot of guys don't have, so if he gets to the edge, it's hard to catch him.
And what's this? He's a receiver now? You threw a pass to him in this last game.
Yeah, he gets out on a couple of swing routes. We try to get him to the edge, just some shorter stuff. Maybe I'm checking down to the flat, get him the football out there in some space.
All right, so you hit Trayvon Billington for a touchdown as well. Talk about what you've seen out of Trayvon. Man, he just looks like he's a solid route runner, and if it's close to him, man, he's gonna make a play for you.
Yeah, he has great hands, and he's able to get open, and I think he's a smart ball player, so he knows how to find the space.
So you go in. We don't know the game plan for any particular week, but Coach Tuke made it very obvious that, hey, we're going to take some shots downfield against Tennessee Tech because what we're seeing on film is teams are having success throwing the ball downfield on them. We're going to take our shots. In a week leading up to a game like that where the game plan might involve you going deep a little more, is that a little bit more exciting for you to know that you're going to be able to step up and air out a few passes downfield?
Oh, yes, sir. I think it's exciting to see, when you have, like, the game before we had such a great run game, so that they're going to load the box up and try to stop that run. We need to have some big plays to the air. So just working on those plays each day and hitting those in practice to see them translate over to the game is pretty fun.
You hit Christian Wilkerson last year a lot. I mean, he led the league in yards per reception, which means he's catching the most deep balls consistently than anybody in the entire league. So you guys kind of developed a little chemistry with the deep ball last year, and 2 big hookups in the game against Tech. You had a 41-yard pass play that set up the first touchdown, and then you threw him a 47-yard touchdown. Talk about those 2 plays.
That first one, just a deep post route down the middle. We cleared it out with another guy, and he was able to get open and made a great play. Really, that second play, it was nothing by design, I'll tell you that. We were just kind of playing some backyard football and just making plays.
So it was designed to go somewhere else? The play kind of breaks down, you have to roll out, and then he kind of improvises. Is that how it went?
Yeah, there's definitely some improvisation going on right there. Christian just getting open, being an athlete, and making a great catch.
Boy, what is that like as a quarterback, though, to know that you throw the ball downfield and you've got a great opportunity, even if it's an improvised play, a great opportunity with a guy like Wilkinson to make a play?
I mean, he's great at making those plays downfield, and it's kind of a trust level I have with him just to get the ball out there to him.
All right, we're going to be going to Clarksville on Saturday, and Austin Peay is a team that really has gained some national notoriety after that big $17 million addition and facelift to their football facility. They were rated by one recruiting service as having the #1 recruiting class in the nation in FCS, and that includes Jacksonville State, North Dakota State. I mean, all the James Madison all of the big boys, they were rated as having the best recruiting class in FCS. So certainly the talent level has turned around on Austin Peay. And what we're seeing out of them defensively, Jesse, is one of the top defenses in the OVC. And, they are sacking the quarterback a lot. They've got the league's leader in sacks in conference games. They lead the league in sacks. What are you seeing on film? Because they're going to be coming after you on Saturday.
I'd say the main thing I just see that we're watching is a strong defensive front. They got some pretty good DNs on the edges that are great at applying pressure to the quarterback.
All right, what are you seeing from their linebackers and different things? Are you going to see some blitzing, and what types of blitzing have you noticed on film?
I've watched the last game. It seems like they brought a lot of edge pressure, and they've been playing a lot of zero and bringing some guys, bringing some heat. So, they all look like great athletes, and they know what they're doing.
Take us through a play where you're coming to the line of scrimmage, and you can tell, or you're pretty sure, blitz is coming. Are you adjusting anything? Do you have a hot route on that particular scenario? What are you doing knowing that they're going to be flooding the gaps and they are going to be sending more guys than you have blockers? Take us through a scenario when you walk to the line of scrimmage and you're pretty sure here it comes.
Yeah, well, you get up there, you know it's coming. You can't block them all. We like to slide the front so we know at least which guys we will have blocked so we can kind of secure an edge, and I can slide that way with the O-line. But just mainly getting the ball out quick, getting to a good man route, getting something out fast where they can't get to you.
How often do you change a call after it's been sent in from the sideline? Does that happen?
Normally I won't ever change a call after it's been sent in from the sideline, but we'll check a lot of different plays to where, they'll give me the option to call the play just how the defensive lines up to it.
Okay. So they'll send in a play, but you have the discretion of kind of what you see, and then you make a call. Is that the way it goes?
Yeah, they'll kind of put us in a formation, and I'll kind of know from that week what we're looking to do, and we'll be able to attack the weakness of the defense that way.
All right, the offensive line, 3 new guys up front, your 2 guards and your center, Orchard. How do you see the chemistry of the offensive line going? Because when you're able to run the football effectively and you're able to protect the quarterback, then those are all signs that the offensive line is doing some good things.
Yeah, those guys done a great job coming in. Obviously, they're not fresh in there. They transferred in from some junior colleges, but they've really been able to grow over the last few games and just become better football players, I think, making us better as a team.
All right, what's the message for you as the leader of the offense to your team as you get ready to go to Clarksville, a team that, by the way, they've got the 4th best pass defense in the country. I mean, they're not even giving up 150 passing yards per game. So, at least statistically, that's going to be a challenge on Saturday.
Yeah, I would just say just keep the focus on SEMO. That's what the coaches have been preaching to us. To get better as individuals, we've had some inconsistency on offense, but I think we haven't played our best football game yet on offense. I think we can get a lot better, and just through the air and on the ground through the run game.
What are you seeing in practice that you guys are watching on Saturday, improvements, and you can directly trace it back to, man, I can see us improve because we are focusing on this and we're really repping it out all week leading up to the football game?
Well, for the last game, we had a really big emphasis on 3rd downs and keeping the chains going, and we were able to do that pretty well in the last game. And also, our perimeter blocking game. You know, that's kind of what sprung loose some of those really long runs on the outside, and we had a big emphasis on getting better in that area, and I think we did good in both those areas.
Boy, it's got to be good feeling for you as a quarterback to see something that you guys really focus on in practice and then see it work on Saturday, right?
Yes, sir. It's great to see stuff that you're putting time and effort to, and you can see the results for that.
What are you seeing as some of the emphasis offensively leading up to Saturday's game in Clarksville?
Just really getting our inside run game back going. You know, we had some big plays off the edges, but just getting inside and really beating up on guys on the inside and having great first downs.
All right. What do you see on film for them? Why are they so good against the pass? Is it because they put pressure on the quarterback? They have great athletes in the secondary. What are some things that you see that kind of jump out at you as you have to watch a defense go?
I think it's both those things together, but I think mostly it's just probably the pressure that they're putting on quarterbacks. The more pressure you can get on a guy, the better the secondary will be.
All right. What's the best way to beat the blitz?
Get rid of the ball quick.
And to guys that have the ability to make plays after they catch it?
Yes, sir. It's going to be man-on-man out there, so guys that can make plays on the edge definitely benefit.
All right. So your thoughts about this start that you guys are off to? You're 2-1 in conference play. This is your senior year, so literally we're going down the stretch here in your senior season with the Redhawks, and you guys are right in the hunt here, 2-1.
Yes, sir. I kind of feel like it's almost like the playoffs already started, We got to keep winning games back-to-back and to see the success that we want to have.
It's unlikely that Eastern Illinois is going to run through the conference undefeated because, they're winning by the hair on their chinny chin every week. They're 4-0, and their 4 conference wins are by a total of 10 points. I don't know if a team can sustain that. Now, Jacksonville, they're steamrolling some people. But all of a sudden, you guys pretty much control your own destiny because you've got Jacksonville, and you have a chance to hand them a loss. So right now, with a 2-1 record, you guys control your destiny making a run at a title here.
Yeah, we just got to focus on that week by week, and control what we can control and practice this week and have a great game this weekend.
All right. It is going to be a 4 o'clock. You ever played a football game at 4 o'clock?
Not that I know of.
I really don't think I've ever seen a 4 o'clock kickoff. And by the way, you're their homecoming game. Usually they try to schedule a weak team for homecoming, man, so you guys ought to take offense to that.
Yeah, maybe they'll have some good distractions for them, come in, surprise them a little bit this weekend.
How did you like homecoming for you guys? Because not only do you win the football game, but man, there was a really good turnout for the Red Hawk Walk, for the parade ahead of time. Tailgates are picking up steam on Saturdays. How about game day on homecoming?
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. You could definitely feel the energy just walking around the block, coming into the locker room. It was a fun time.
So Tech wanted to spoil that homecoming, couldn't do it. You guys get a chance to do that on Saturday, spoil their homecoming.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Can't wait. 4 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. We'll see you there, Jesse. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
That's Jesse Hoskett, Red Hawks quarterback. Red Hawks are heading to Austin Peay on Saturday. We'll talk about the Governors. What has made them turn around so quickly here from one of the worst in the country to a team competing for a championship in the Ohio Valley Conference? Coach Tuke rejoins us. We'll talk about Saturday's opponent, the Austin Peay Governors. After this is the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings, etc.
But there's only one place for award-winning jumbo wings, bigger beers, and better food and drink values all week long. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. We're so much more than wings. Enjoy wraps, salads, subs, seafoods, quesadillas, amazing appetizers, and awesome daily lunch food and drink specials. And now, when you can't eat here, order online for pickup at togo.wingsetc.com. It's fast, easy, and convenient. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Good food, great times, and online ordering at togo.wingsetc.com.
Local businesses have garnered success by advertising with the stations of River Radio. Here's Laura of Coulter Insurance about her radio commercial.
Sure, our radio ad was about really the foundation of our business, the work ethic that I know was instilled in me from my father, and just letting people know that we're here for the future. We've made a lot of changes in our agency so that we are going to be here in 30 years.
So you aren't just talking to existing clients, but new customers.
And for those clients that maybe are new, or maybe it's an account that we don't have yet, I think it's just something that we're putting out there for them to hear, that this is how we've built our agency and this is what we stand for. And I just think the radio ad really solidified that. And I think that it's a great fit for our agency, so I absolutely hope we continue to advertise.
Let River Radio go to work for you. Log on to SEMOadvertising.com to find out more.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
Well, after starting off the day in the frosty 30s, we're going to get up close to 70 here today as we'll look at sunshine in the forecast. Clear, chilly again tonight, low near 40. Sunny tomorrow with a high 75, and sunshine will take us into Thursday, a high near 80. Friday, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. Richard DeWettig at the Weather Channel.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network.
This is Mike Golick for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
Wings, etc., the site of the Red Hawks Coaches Show with Coach Tom Matukowicz. We want to thank Red Hawks quarterback Jesse Hoskett for his time. Second time he has joined us here on the Coaches Show. And as we get ready to head to Austin Peay, I want to ask Coach Tuke, what did you think when you saw that this game was starting at 4 o'clock? Who's ever heard of a football game that starts at 4 o'clock?
Boo. Right?
Have you ever?
That's all I got to say.
Have you ever seen a 4 o'clock football game?
No. You could tell coaches don't schedule it because we'd schedule them all at 11. Get up, drink a cup of coffee, get a couple cherry pickers in, and let's roll.
Let's rock and roll.
Like, I guess the Moose Knuckles wouldn't appreciate that. We need to ask them what the best time, what's their zone. When do they like games? Because, tailgate's a big deal. You got to have time to prep. And,
yep.
So we'll have to get what time they like games start. I definitely don't like them at 4 at all. I don't like them at 6 either, but, it is what it is.
So after your last night game, you were not going to have any more night games, but it's odd. The next 2 weeks, you got 4 o'clock this week, 3 o'clock next week at Jacksonville State. So they're technically not night games, but they just kind of fall at odd times.
Yeah, I got a lot of things in my mind, but those aren't any of them.
All right, as you get ready for Austin Peay, Coach, unquestionably this is the best rushing offense in the OVC. They outrushed Jacksonville State 235 yards on the ground per game, and that includes all 3 quarterbacks that they play, but they mainly play 2. But I do want to get your thoughts on the quarterback that kind of debuted. His coming out party was against you last year as Javon Craig. He was a 2-star recruit coming out of Chattanooga McCallie High School, the number 67 ranked recruit in the state of Tennessee. Jacksonville State recruited him. Navy recruited him. Chattanooga, a nationally ranked program, recruited him. Austin Peay got him, and, man, this guy is electrifying, especially when he gets in the open field.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a running back, so that's what we got to prepare for. I think that's the thing that maybe not every fan understands. When you defend people, you don't defend when you have numbers to defend the run. You don't count the quarterback as a threat. And so when he is, and now they add another blocker, sometimes you're short in the box. And they don't just run traditional offense. So there's lots of dive and a quarterback option, a pitch, all these things that we got to defend. So defensively, we got a challenge, huge challenge. And so we got to do our job. We just can't play fast and physical because, if everybody jumps in on the dive, no one has Javon Craig, and we'll be in trouble because he's got the speed to get it over with on the perimeter.
Not just Javon Craig, but also Jeremiah Oatsfall. Would you say, is it maybe 60-40 Craig over Oatsfall? I mean, how they play both quarterbacks a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be like trying to figure out what my wife wants to eat tonight. I mean, who knows? The thing that you got to understand is they had a huge win, like a program establishing win against Tennessee State. And Oatsfall led them on that 2-minute drive, and so maybe that tilts the nod to him. But Javon started the game, so you just don't really know. You got to be prepared for both. Thankfully, they're both kind of the same. And so your schemes don't have to change that much.
And Craig, if he gets outside the pocket, Coach, or even inside running, he's averaging almost 7 yards per rush. So, I mean, this guy's for real running the football.
Yep. You know, we played good defense against them last year, but we let them get out twice, and they scored 14 points on 2 big plays, and can't let that happen this game.
All right, their leading running back is Kentel Williams. He's averaging almost 6 yards per run. What can you tell us about Williams, their leading rusher? 435 rushing yards.
Just runs tough. Shoulders always going downhill. I wouldn't say he's got the top end. I'm not sure. The head hadn't gotten loose yet, but they're hard to defend because you can't get a lot of numbers to the ball because it's option. You know, there's just everybody's got to take their responsibility, and so one missed tackle or one missed assignment, and it could go.
Okay, if you're playing against an option team that is going to run their quarterback a lot, how tough and unique is it to prepare for an offense like that?
Well, we got 3 quarterbacks right here. I don't know if any of these 3 would run the option. In fact, I take that back. I know none of them are going to run the option in the Bruni boys, right? I never got to see them play, but I could tell they probably weren't running some.
I didn't see Bobby Bruni running many option plays.
But, you know, first of all, we gotta play physical. Let's see if he wants to run it after Kendall and Chad tattoo him. That's my message. Like, hey, you want to run him. Let's find out how he wants to throw the ball after he gets tackled. That's my message.
And throwing the football is something that they do almost less than any other team in the Ohio Valley Conference. So in terms of just passing offense, so far this year, they have thrown the ball 131 times. The only team that's thrown the ball less is Jacksonville State, and that's because Jacksonville's played one less game than Austin Peay. So really, they throw the ball about as few times as any team in the league. They have 4 passing touchdowns this year as a team. That's it.
Yep, and we definitely know that. We're not just going to abandon any pass defense, but you know, we're going to try to get him drafted throwing the ball. I'll put it to you that way. Like if they're running the ball, I'm going to, you know, it's going to be a hard day. So we got to make sure we stop the run.
I talked to Jesse about it, but their pass defense is ranked 4th in the country. They're giving up less than 150 yards through the air per game. That's a really good number. What makes them so good? Is it that they can sack the quarterback? They can put pressure? Is that one of the biggest things?
No doubt about it. It's pressure first. They got a sophomore that was one of their best players last year that has done a good job. You could tell they're doing a good job in the weight room. He's gotten significantly better. He fumbled a couple of teams, even Jacksonville State, and so we got to know where that guy's at. But also, I don't know that people have tried either. You know, a lot of people haven't really tried to throw the ball a bunch either.
Jason Williams leads the OVC in sacks at 7.5 so far in that category. And then you look at the way that the Jacksonville State game shook out. Is that about the only team that has stopped their running attack?
Yep. Everybody else, you know, including Division I teams, they've been able to run the ball on. So, you know, we're not going to be able to shut it down. We just got to be able to control it. You can't have long runs, and then you got to get them into 3rd down, and then, you know, you get them into 3rd and 8 and 10, then you should be good, you know, because they haven't thrown the ball a lot, so they may not be as good with it, even protectionally. So that's what we got exposed.
And we really don't know about their they haven't kicked a lot of field goals. You don't know about their field goal kickers. I know that in terms of defense, you could care less about the yardage for the most part. What you care about is how many points are you giving up. I mean,
situational football and points, you know, got to be good in 3rd down and red zone. But yardage is pretty overrated nowadays football.
All right, what are the keys Saturday to go pick up a big win at Austin Peay, where their fortunes have kind of turned around with this big $17 million renovation of their stadium?
Well, it's still down to turnovers, turnover margin. You know, they've been able to create a bunch, so our offense has to do a tremendous job taking care of the football. And then one thing about their offense, a lot of ball handling, a lot of reads, a lot of, that ball's at risk. And so we need to drop a grenade right in the backfield a couple times, named Kendall and Chad.
Kendall Donners and Chad Meredith, two of the biggest disruptors on defense of any team in the OVC. All right, we'll see you in Clarksville for that odd 4 o'clock start time on Saturday, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sounds great.
All right, that's Coach Tom Matukowicz. That's going to do it here from Wings, Etc. We're back in the Jackson location again next week, so we hope you'll join us. We'll be in Jackson next week for Wings, Etc. and the Red Hawks Coaches Show. Again, 4 o'clock kickoff in Clarksville, Tennessee on Saturday. We'll talk to you then. We'll get you back into the Ryan Russillo Show coming up next on SEMO ESPN.
ESPN Radio Sports Network, 92.9 KLSC Home.